Welcome back to this tutorial series teaching you how to create a decentralized application on the Polygon network. This is an animal shelter decentralized application that will teach you to insert data and read data from the blockchain and also filter data according to events. So in last tutorial, we developed this smart contract together. In this tutorial today, we are going to create a hardhat project and deploy the smart contract to the Polygon zkEVM network with hardhat. So I put all the instructions here for you, so we can do this together right now, but later you can use this README file and deploy any other contracts and other projects that you create on your own. So I hope you find this useful. If you do, click the like button on the YouTube channel, become a subscriber, join me as a member. This channel exists based on community donations and memberships, and follow me so you can see the next couple of videos that I'm going to share on this decentralized application. All right, so let's go into step number one. Right, this link, the README of the animal shelter, will be under the video in the comment section or in the description section. So step number one, we are going to create the backend and the hardhat project. Right, so the backend of this project is going to be, the first step is to make a new directory or a new folder called animal shelter. So I'm going to do this. I actually want to, let's go right. I'm going to open it in Visual Studio. You can use terminal, a command terminal, whatever you want. I'm going to use my terminal inside VS Code. If this doesn't work for you, just open up your own terminal and go to where you want to install this project. My project is going to be installed in the contracts folder, but I'm going to make the animal shelter folder inside the contracts folder. Let's do this side by side so it's easier. Okay, and then I'm going to cd into this folder that I just made. Right now I'm inside animal shelter, and then I'm going to create the backend folder. Oops, that doesn't work. Backend copy. Perfect. And now I'm going to cd into the backend. Smooth this up. Okay, so now I'm inside my backend folder, and now I can start setting up the hardhat project. So I'm going to go npm init yes. Great, that worked. Now I'm going to create this version. Hardhat might be at version 216, 220, 3, whatever. This specific version works very well with this project. So I would stick to this version for now. 214.0. This takes about a minute, and then we'll create a .env file because we are going to read some sensitive information from our wallets within the env file that nobody else will have access to, only us. So to read information from an env file, we need to install this library. All right, done. Now let's go right here, npm install.env, installed. Great. And now we're going to install, this is I think mainly for Windows users, and I have Windows, so I will install this as well. Hardhat Toolbox version 2, don't forget that. So it's compatible with everything else we installed. And once that installs, again, that will take another minute or two, we are going to create the hardhat project. Okay, that's done. Copy. Make sure you're still in the backend folder and paste npx hardhat, and this will create the hardhat project for you. We're going to use JavaScript. Enter. Yes, same root folder. Yes, add a git ignore, and that's it. We're done. Select, well, we did step 4. Step 5, open the backend folder and remove any present contracts inside the contract folder. So let's go here. We're going into VS Code, and we want to open the backend folder. File, open folder. So I'm going to open the animal shelter folder, which I just created. And this animal shelter folder, as you can see, has the backend and the hardhat project. And now in the README file, it says, remove the contracts, insert my own shelter DB contract. So contract, I'm going to remove this, delete. We'll create a new contract under contracts. We'll call it, what did we call it? Shelter. What did we call it? Shelter, I think I call it shelter.sol. Either way, I think I call it shelter.sol. Shelter.sol. Okay. And then once we have the shelter.sol, then I'm going to insert my shelter information, my contract. So this is from the last video as well. It's under the YouTube video, but this is the contract is from our GitHub. Let's open GitHub here. Backend, contracts, shelter.sol. Let's just copy everything raw. All, Control A, Control C. And now we'll go back to here and we'll paste our contract into our computer locally. All right, so now that we have it in VS Code in our computer, now we're going to go to the next step. Step number 6. Inside the scripts folder, let's go to the scripts folder right here. You can leave this name, but we're going to replace all of this default code. We're going to replace it with the code that I created for this project. You can open it if you want. And it's right here. Let's do it. Let's look at it like this. Copy C. Control C, sorry. Copy. Great. You can see I'm deploying the shelterDB contract because it's shelterDB. All right. Now that we have that deployed, now we can do create an env file inside the backend folder. So we're going to go into backend, env, I think it's .env we said, .env. Yeah, .env. And inside the .env, we're going to copy this. And then you need your private key, or MetaMask or Coinbase, whatever wallet you have, you need your private key. So I use MetaMask. So for that, you can be in any tab, it doesn't matter. Go into your MetaMask wallet. And now I'm using, I'm on the Polygon testnet, and this is fake ETH on the Polygon test ETH. And then we can go into account number 1, account details, click on show private key, and it will give you that private key. Okay, so once you have that private key, let's go back to VS Code and fill this out like that. Great, so we have our private key. You can also see a video on how to set up a MetaMask wallet if you don't know how to do that. And in the hardhat config.js, remove all the information with new information, right? So hardhat. Control A, remove all the default code, and let's use this code in there instead. I created this for you for the project. And this is just, we're using the Solidity 8.18 version because that's what our contract is using, and we're deploying to the zkEVM network, right? Like this. Using the private key from the env file. Copy, paste, great. And I think we're done. Step number 9, we're going to compile. So go back to our VS Code terminal. Okay. And here we'll do cd. I don't know why my last terminal closed. We'll cd into the backend folder. And now we can do hardhat compile. It's going to compile the project, the contract, successfully compiled. And then we're going to deploy to zkEVM. Give it a minute. And once you're done with that, you can actually explore your contract number on the zkEVM network. It seems like the Polygon zkEVM testnet is having issues right now. You can see block data is currently not up to date, so you won't be able to see the contract of the contract address or the one we just deployed. But trust me, just follow the code all the way to the end, and once that function finishes, you'll be able to get the contract address, put it in here, and it will give you the data of that contract. It'll show you the deployment information. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. Click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And always remember, we're better together, so help each other out. I'll see you in the next tutorial.